Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, today we're plunging headfirst into one of those really mind-bending questions. How can an infinite creator, the second God, step into our finite world, seemingly limited as a creature, and still fill all of space-time? It's a paradox, really, that touches the very nature of existence. And, well, we've got some fascinating, pretty dense texts to help us unpack it.
Indeed. And our mission for this deep dive is to navigate these nuanced perspectives. We want to reveal some surprising insights and help you understand the profound implications here. What's really interesting is how these different viewpoints, even grappling with something fundamentally unknowable, can give us a richer picture.
Right. So to tackle this puzzle, our sources lay out two pretty compelling, almost clashing perspectives. Let's start with the first one. This view suggests kind of radical self-emptying. It posits that when the second God became a creature, the divine word existed only as that creature, for that specific time anyway.
And they connect this to the idea of Emmanuel, right? Meaning God with us.
Exactly. The sources point out, look, if the divine word was already perceivably with creatures before entering space-time, why would you need that name, Emmanuel? It suggests creatures only truly became with God in a, recognizable way after this divine entry into our reality.
This perspective really emphasizes a profound self-limitation. The idea being that the second God emptied themselves, and in doing that during this period of being a creature, did not sustain infinity or fill space-time in that same boundless way. It's a powerful image, that self-restraint for relationship's sake.
It really is. But, how can something infinite truly limit itself without, ceasing to be infinite? That feels like a contradiction, doesn't it?
It does.
And here's where it gets really interesting, because the sources immediately flip the coin. They present a counterpoint that, at first glance, seems totally irreconcilable.
Precisely. This second view asserts that the second God continues to fill space-time, even while manifesting as a creature. This perspective reminds us, look, creatures are always sustained by the life and word of the Creator. We've never existed independently.
Okay.
That infinite existence, it remains inherently within the second God, even if it's not manifested in the same way. The sources are quite clear. Even now, as the divine word manifests as a creature, space-time itself is sustained by that very word.
Implying a continued infinite presence. Even if we can't fully grasp what that means.
Exactly. Its full meaning is, probably beyond our human comprehension.
So if the divine word can limit itself in one sense, but still sustain everything in another, how do these two ideas fit together? How can one be everywhere and also kind of here in a finite form?
Right. That raises the key question. How can space-time even persist while the word limits itself to space-time? What's crucial to understand, the sources suggest, is that the second God filling space-time doesn't mean space-time becomes, part of God.
Oh.
All creatures, everything that exists, depends entirely on the second God's word for its very being. Sustained by God, yes, but not God themselves. So the fact that space-time continued to exist after the second God became a creature, that strongly indicates the divine word still sustains space-time by their power, even while self-limiting.
So Emmanuel isn't about God suddenly showing up where God wasn't before.
Perhaps not in a literal sense of absence than presence. Think of it more like seeing a pattern in a complex image only after someone points it out.
Okay, I think that follows.
The pattern was always there, woven in, but you only perceived it, you only recognized it once it was highlighted. The sources seem to suggest Emmanuel is about that kind of divine highlighting. It allows us to recognize God's ever-present sustenance in a new, really profound way.
Which says a lot about the limits of our understanding, doesn't it? Sounds like we're just scratching the surface here.
Absolutely. I mean, we only know God as much as the divine chooses to reveal. The true nature of an infinite creator who is somehow simultaneously everywhere and manifesting in a finite form, that's ultimately beyond our grasp. Our very ability to perceive, to understand any of this is itself sustained by that creator.
So what's the takeaway here for you, the listener? Beyond the, the theological back and forth, what's the implication for you? It seems that even with these different views, the sources consistently point to our fundamental reliance on the Creator's sustaining power. That seems undeniable.
That's right.
Creatures are sustained by the life of the second God, the Creator, the living Word who always sustains existence. That's the constant thread.
And maybe a final thought to mull over. Think about the radical love implied in this paradox. A creator who is simultaneously limitless and self-limited. not abandoning creation for even a moment, but engaging with it in this incredibly intimate way that allows for a real relationship. How might that paradox deepen your understanding of the divine presence in your own life, even in those moments you don't necessarily perceive it?
That's a powerful question. And remember, whether we grasp God fully or just partially, the sources always call us back to offering appropriate love and worship to the one who sustained our very being, highlighting that ultimate love shown by the Father and the Son.